Hi friends, thanks for joining me. I am filming from Australia, from the Blue Mountains in Australia. Feeling really lucky to be here, cozy, working out the self-isolation here. I flew in just the day before they closed the borders to Australia, so I'm currently on a 14-day self-isolation. So it's been really interesting to notice what comes up for me and to find ways to move my energy and to stay active and out of all the different stories that are possible to come up in my mind, all the what ifs and the uncertainty. So I know that many of us are in the same situation. So I just wanted to send a few videos in solidarity, really. You know, this is kind of a wild time in terms of it's not often that we're all going through a similar thing and having the similar fears and worries and stresses. But what's interesting is that, you know, actually we are as a human, we have so many of the same things that are always going on. The human thread of how we experience shame and fear and grief and loneliness and sadness and unworthiness and love and joy and happiness, all of these things, like we're threaded together by these human emotions, yet we always feel separate. So it's interesting that this, the coronavirus, how this is sweeping us all. We're all now seeing how we're linked in many different ways. And we're linked not only by, you know, the transmission and the spread of this, but we're also linked in our fears and our worries and our uncertainty. It's just all, normally they take on different flavors, different aspects. And in this case, often they're turned towards the same. It's all turned towards the same direction. But still, even in our normal day-to-day, we're more connected than we think. So it's just an interesting thought that I've been thinking about. Like, it's highlighting our interconnectivity. And there's so many paradoxes there because we're so connected, yet all of us are quite isolated right now. And, you know, maybe that's showing us, maybe that will show us and reveal many things. We're going to learn a lot from this in many different ways. So I think it's very important that we stay clear and we stay lucid and seeing, you know, where we can grow here, where we can come together and be more part of, you know, the collective part of humanity rather than separate. So lots of things here. But I wanted to do a few videos, just some of my own practice and what I can share with you and what might be beneficial. So today I just wanted to do a slow flow, and we're just going to move some of the possibly stagnant energy in the body. It's very challenging to go from a very active person, and maybe you are, maybe you aren't in your everyday life, to staying still, being more at home, things such as this. So there's still many ways that we can move the energy. And just a little attention on the breath and the body, you know, now more than ever, having that inner relationship will be incredibly vital. So I'll quit talking, or maybe I'll keep talking and just move along as well. Close your eyes down. Begin to feel the breath in the body. Just take a few grounding breaths. So by grounding breath, we'll accentuate the exhale. So breathe extra, kind of heavy, loud, audible maybe on your exhale. So we're accentuating, amplifying the exhale. And again. And take a moment to scan into your body. What's going on in there? What's going on in your emotional landscape? What's been coming up for you during this time? And there may be anxiety, confusion, there may be numbness. It's what we're used to, often what we're used to feeling, what we're used to doing when we're in discomfort, it will be highlighted in this situation. Do we run towards judgment or anger and shut down? Just taking a moment to feel in what that is for you, what's been coming up. And it's so important to begin to create this relationship with ourselves, to understand what our tendencies are in order to maneuver around them, to navigate around them. Because in these times of struggle, we can really be backed into some of our greatest qualities. Finding out these resilient aspects of ourselves, or turning towards ourselves rather than turning away, and learning so many new things. Our struggles often turn into our strengths, individually and collectively. A few more rounds of breath here. I'm just going to begin to move the spine. So take the hands to the knees. We're going to just start with a cat-cow. So we're just going to move the energy starting with the spine. So inhale, pull at the knees, gaze up, open the heart, open the throat, and then exhale, curl and round. Inhale, come forward. You can pull with the hands. And then exhale, push and curl. So continue like that with your breath. And keep moving. And we'll start to spiral the spine. So moving, maybe they start really slow, maybe they get bigger, or whatever feels good. You might be ready to move, so just start swinging around. Maybe you go really slow. There's so many different places that we'll come up against in ourselves here. Like right now, it's pretty chilly. It's pretty cold here, and I like warm weather because I'm much more active. So I'm really coming up against this this annoyance against the cold, or this annoyance that I don't have energy, that I want to move my body. I don't want to just sit here and be cold and eat. It's what I feel like I do a lot. And so finding ways to be sit down, move your body, breathe. You can still do these things, finding ways to maneuver with our surroundings and move the other way. And finding creative ways to do things differently. We get so used to our patterns and our creature comforts. It's what do we do when we don't do the thing that we always do? And some patterns are kind of simple, maybe you always eat the same breakfast in the morning, and to switch that won't be a giant deal. But then maybe you always get angry when you're in discomfort. Maybe that's the pattern that you go down. That's a harder and a more challenging pattern to break, with more, and go ahead and stop, and we'll go side to side, lateral, with more repercussion, with more pain involved, yeah? But it's still, when you notice how hard it is to change a simple pattern, you realize how hard it is to change these bigger patterns as well, and the awareness that it takes. So we'll lean over towards the right, reach. Inhales come up, and then exhales will go over, yeah? So our pattern has been shook up, yeah? So what do we do now? You notice I didn't answer that question. I'm not sure right now. We see, we explore, and we keep moving, and we keep breathing, and we keep in love, and we stay in compassion, and we see what happens. One more each side. Take the bolster out if you're sitting on top of anything, and we're going to move into a tabletop position. Just going to continue to move the spine. So the spine holds so much energy here. Everything kind of like exuberates. I don't know if that's the right word. Extends out of this kind of spinal space energetically, physically. So drop the belly. I'm just going to move cat-cow here. Inhale and exhale. And begin to let this look however you want. So moving the hips. Swaying side to side. So even here we're used to doing cat-cow pose. So notice even what it feels like to switch the pattern of that movement. You might be like, well, I'm not sure what to do then. You have to explore. We have to get creative. And sit back into child's pose. Forehead down to the ground. Feel rooted. Feel all the points of contact to the earth, to the mat, to the ground, to the carpet, whatever it is that you're on. As if you could sink a little bit deeper, be a little bit heavier. There's so much uncertainty, so much energy up in the air. This extra grounding is so vital. Tuck the chin to the chest. We're going to roll up. So lead with the back of the heart. Drop the belly, cow pose, and then exhale. Hips go back, child's pose. Yeah, we'll move like this a few times. Chin to chest, round on your way up. So it's like cat pose on the way up. And then drop the belly, cow pose on the way down. Twice more like this. Chin to chest, round on the way up. And exhale, wave back on the way down. Once more. Inhale, round on the way up. And we'll start moving a little bit different from here. Maybe bring the knees just a little bit closer. And we're going to sink the hips over to the left so they come all the way down. And then we'll open up with the right hand. I got a fire behind me, but I'll go a little bit. Bring the arm up. Come back to this knee together tabletop, and then we'll come over hips to the right, open all the way up to the left. The gaze can follow the thumb. Arm comes up and plants down. Twice more each side. So you can move with breath, let it feel delicious. Arm goes up, over. So breathing into the space, into this extra space here. Once more. So slow, steady breath. There's no holding, no sharp edges, same as in the movement. So we're not holding the movements, we're just flowing here. Tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So cat paw the ground, like pick up the hands, pick up the feet. It's like you're trying to find that perfect spot to settle in. And inhale, wave forward, plank pose. We're going to come all the way down to the ground. So you can bring the knees down if you'd like, or just come down to the ground. Take the hands wide onto the fingertips, or if that doesn't feel good, you can bring the hands down, that's fine too. Tops of the feet into the ground, pubic bone into the ground. We're going to push the ground away in the hands and lift the heart up and wave it down. So see if you can get a little bit longer here. Like the heart can come forward and then wave down. Twice more. Again. Beautiful. Take the hands underneath the shoulders by the rib cage. Push away, child's pose. So still just moving in the spine. Letting your body feel heavy here.
Slowly roll up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Walk the feet up towards the top of the mat, slow, slow, slow. Take a rag doll. So bend the knees really generously so that the belly's all the way on the thighs here. And then hang down and sway. Then we're going to come down to a seat. Take the toes wide and we're going to sink the hips low. This is going to be kind of fun. We're going to reach forward as the hips sink down. So it's kind of like the hips are going one direction, the hands are going in the other, but you're going to slowly, slowly, slowly let the hips win and come down. Yeah, beautiful. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hands to the ankles. Pull the heart center forward. We're going to open the throat, open the heart just slightly, and exhale, begin to fold forward. So some different options here. I threw my pillow earlier, but you can take a pillow over the feet and lay down on that here. And we're just opening. You may feel this in different places. You may feel it in the thighs. You may feel it in the back or in the upper back. But just trust where you're feeling it is where you need it. But we're looking for to expand the comfort zone, not to endure pain, but comfort zone requires a little bit of, well, uncomfortability. So I think that we're feeling this for sure in these days. So it's interesting to see like what our comfort zone will consist of, you know, after we've all bound together and cooperated, you know. Choosing to stay home, choosing to lay low for a little bit for the good of everyone, and then how that expands our, you know, collective comfort zone, our collective compassion. A few more rounds of breath here. And slowly roll up. We're going to take a twist. So let's bring the left knee forward towards the camera. The right foot, we're going to cross it over, yeah? And see if you can put that foot all the way down on the ground. If it doesn't go all the way down, that's okay, but that's the direction that it's going in. The left arm is going to wrap around and grab the right leg and pull it in. The right hand is going to go behind the back, press down to lift the crown of the head up, and then we'll twist towards the right. And seated twist here. You can pull the belly in. So even though it looks like I'm not moving, I'm still inhaling, lifting up through the crown of the head, lengthening the back of the neck, and exhale, twisting. Again. Once more. And slowly release. Gomukhasana. So we're just going to lay the right knee down on top of the left knee. You might have to pick your booty up a little bit and come in. Sink that down. If this isn't feeling good, then you can straighten the bottom leg. Yeah. But take a moment. So different options here. I always like to just stay right here. This is great for me. Gravity's doing its thing, opening the outer hips. I'll even give myself a little massage into the arches of my feet. Some people like to fold forward. So maybe if that's in your practice and that feels good, come forward, just lay it down. You can also take a twist. So some different options here. Wherever you are, let the breath flow in and out, uninhibited. The full expression of any pose when you can fully inhale and exhale. So don't sacrifice your breath in order to physically go deeper. We want to move. We want to let the breath inform the body positions. It's so important to continue this relationship with our mind, with our body. You know, we really practice for times like these.
You know, whenever things get shaky, we practice for when things get shaky. And then here it is. It's really time to dive in. This is a perfect time to practice. To pull out all of our tools to come together and, yeah, learn, share. Been a beautiful outpouring of support on social media and online, and you know, different people offering different ways of hope, whether that be through movement or stillness or so many different ways. Or just checking in on those you love. Slowly release. Lean back, plant the hands, and we'll switch sides. So maybe you open up the legs, do a little windshield wiper side to side, and we'll switch sides. So this time the right knee on the bottom, the left leg comes over, the left foot plants. So push down through the sit bones. The right arm will wrap around. The left hand goes behind, press down again as you twist, lengthen up the back of the neck. So when things get twisted, like in this position, we get twisted up a little bit, so the breath doesn't want to go all the way down often. So it might be just there's a little bit of constriction, so we breathe bigger, yeah? And we can really take that, everything is a metaphor on the mat. Whenever things get a little twisted, things get a little bit of edgy, we just amplify. We amplify our practice, amplify our breath, amplify love, kindness, into all the nooks and crannies. Just like we're pushing the breath, inflating the body with breath in all its nooks and crannies. Slowly release. Gomukhasana, so we'll just let this top leg slide in. You'll probably need to shimmy your booty back down and expect it to be different on this side. We are definitely not even, so I'm gonna explore it completely anew. The side's much tighter for me. So if this feels like more adheres tighter for you as well, this is a perfect place to practice compassion. Like, this is what it is right now. It's something that I learned in, a teacher taught in a meditation retreat I was in. I did a 7-day meditation retreat last fall, something I'd always wanted to do. It was very challenging, but very good, and had many takeaways. But one of the teachers was saying, you know, we're always wanting things to be different. So much of our time thinking is wishing things were more this way or less this way. And so this mantra of, this is what it is right now. Whatever's happening, this is what it is right now. This is what it is right now. And I really like that. Three more rounds, steady breath. And slowly release. Lean back, plant the hands. And windshield wiper the knees. And we'll come into a seat. Close your eyes down and just feel in for a moment. We have this tendency to want to be so productive, to want to go, 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 go. And we're really being asked to just settle in right now. And everybody has so many different ways that that's challenging. So many different hitches and triggers that this pulls, but this is what it is right now. And how can we breathe into that uncomfortability? How can we move our body a little bit in the stillness to create space? And trusting Just trusting in our inner relationship, our outer relationship, the collective. And just letting things be as they are right now. And knowing that the possibility ahead is very vast. One more inhale. Sigh out. Bring the hands together, thumbs to the third eye. Let's bow forward to seal our practice, and together we say, Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that you are setting up some practices. This is a beautiful time to set up self-practice and to maybe get more space in order to come back to your mat every day and maybe create a safe space here. My mat has always been one for me, so I'm happy to have that refuge to always come back to. So maybe during this time, you can begin to create that for yourself as well. Or if you already have, then use this time to deepen your relationship. And, so often as well, this practice, it seems like we do it for ourselves, but endless ripples. So we're doing it for all of us. So thank you for doing your part. See you all next time. Be safe, be well.